Hi and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Just let me know if I'm audible as well as equally visible or not. Just a quick +1 would do. Just reply with a +1 and then we would start. Just a sec, let me turn on my preview screen so that I would get to know if I'm visible as well as audible or not. Just a sec. Yeah, it's open. Yeah, so I can see. Yeah, thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so we would start at around 8, okay, so that everyone joins. Okay, we are ready. Jaldi aao. Yeah, let me. I was applying the same after DFS, giving me about signal. Perfect. Yes, you are loud and clear. Okay, thank you. Good to go. So we would be starting off at around 8. We would wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we would start. Okay with you all? Yeah, this thing is that the contest has just ended at 8. So I think some people would need to drink or at least take some milk or what. Okay, anything. Till then we would wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we would start. Yeah. Just after 1 or 2 minutes we would start. So, कितने क्वेश्चन हुए? How many questions were you able to do? And how was the question set? Okay, many people have joined. I don't want to waste more time. Okay, we would start with the first question. Okay, so the first question was telling us V absolute difference divisible by k. Okay, we are given an array of integers of size n and an integer k, and we need to find all pairs in the array whose absolute difference was divisible by 4. Okay, or anything. Okay, divisible by k. Sir, I was doing the DFS on the second question, but it was giving me the signal about. Okay, good to go. You might have got a segmentation error. Okay, 010, post the code in the comment. Yeah. Okay. The thing is that posting the code in the comment, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. But the thing is that if I tell you the idea and show you the code, okay, but if you don't implement by yourself and just copy my code or see my code side by side and you write your code by seeing my code on the left hand side, it won't make you much improvement. Okay, because the idea, first the hint is important. By taking the hint you should be able to solve the question, and next if you are not able to come up with the solution in the hint, then you need to learn something. Okay, then we would be moving forward. I would be telling you the code and all, everything I would be explaining, but I suggest you that you implement it by yourself. Okay, so we would be moving forward. We are given an array of integers of size n and an integer on search, but n plus k ka kaise kare. Okay, I would tell you, given an array of integers of n and an integer k, okay, we need to find all the pairs in the array, okay, whose absolute difference is divisible by k. Okay, let's see the sample test cases. So क्या है ना कि we are given an array of integers and the size would be k. Suppose the array of the integers is 3, so the size of the array would be 11, 2 and 3. Size is 3, and we need to find all the pairs whose absolute difference is divisible by k. Now what is the absolute difference? Absolute difference means 2 minus 11, which is -9, and the absolute value of minus 9 is 9 itself. Okay, now divisible by k. Okay, and it should be divisible by k, and 9 should be divisible by k, difference. Okay, so let's move forward and see the sample test cases first. This guy is amazing. Okay, my idea was to, okay, Aryan Sapra, thanks a lot. My idea was to count numbers with the same remainder and then with NC2. Yeah. Good to go, lol, you did the same. Yeah. Many people got the idea a little bit. Okay, so moving forward, let's see the test cases itself. So what the test cases is telling us that, let's go to the, wait a sec, I have the opened leaderboard instruction. Do they allow coding problems, absolute difference by k? Yeah, let's remove for this for now. Yeah, so first thing is that 3, 7 and 11. Okay, suppose 3, 7 and 11. Okay, so let's copy this and we would see this 3, 7 and 11. Let's take this example only. Okay, moving forward, I also did the same. Yeah, so let me check 3, 7. Okay, 3, 7 and 11. Okay, now compare 3 with 7. 3 and 7. Okay, 3 minus 7 and the absolute value is divisible by k, that is minus 4, and minus 4 absolute value is 4 itself, which is divisible by 4, and the k is 4 now. Yeah, k is 4, I remember that. Okay, now let's move to the 3 and 11. Okay, 3 and 11 minus 3 is equals to 8, so absolute value is 8. 8 is divisible by 4. We would be moving forward and it is the same. So 3 and 7 are the pairs, and that's how you can do a n-square approach, by fixing one element and comparing it with all the elements, fixing one element, comparing it to all the elements, fixing one element, comparing it with all the elements. Okay, but I don't think you are interested in this this solution, because this is an n-square approach, because we are fixing one element and we are doing a n iteration. For the others, we are checking if the other pairs exist or not. I used a map for the first one. अब GFG hiring challenge का editorial ने release हुआ है, or I didn't consider nating. Okay, I would be first explaining this and I would be moving forward. Okay, then I would be seeing the comments, because seeing the comments after every 1 minute would be disturbing for you all too. Okay, so n-square approach would not pass. Why n-square approach would not pass? Okay, let us see what is the n is equals to 10 to the power 5. Okay, the range of n is 2 to 10 to the power 5. Okay, so now let's see 2 to the power 5, 10 to the power 5 n square approach. The worst n to the power 5 square is equal to 10 to the power 10. Okay, now we know the thumb rule is that in 1 second 10 to the power 8 operations we can perform, and 10 to the power 10 is more than 10 to the power 8, so it would give you a TLE. Okay, that's how you should know. Here it is given, the hint is given that you should expect a time complexity n plus k, but even if this was not given, you should be able to tell that if it would be a TLE or not before implementing that only. Okay, now moving forward, is this solution clear? Because we would be simplifying this solution. Is this solution clear? Just a +1 in the chat so that I would know that that n square approach is clear and you have successfully understood that question itself. So we would be moving forward to the n plus k approach. Just tell me. Okay, I see yes coming. Anyone else who didn't understood the n square approach? Yeah, many people understood the n square approach, so we would be moving forward. Okay, now suppose 3, 7 and 11, this was there, and k's value is 4. Okay, k is 4 itself. So suppose every time, okay, this is a very famous solving technique. Every this is a famous solving technique. This question regularly comes. I have seen this type of question regularly in code forces div 2 round. Okay, I solved this type of question. So but the question is there that you need to find the absolute difference. Okay, the absolute difference should be divisible by k. Okay, now we would consider for the rest of our understanding that k is 4 itself. Good to go. Now suppose the question is A, B and C. Okay, it is given that A, B and C and k is 4. Moving forward, okay, whenever we need to find the absolute difference, and whenever you need to find the absolute difference divisibility, the first thing that should come in your mind is modulo. Okay, this should be the first thing that should be striking in your head. Okay, this might be a question of modular arithmetic because the difference should be divisible by 4 itself. Okay, am I clear or not? Okay, this should be the first thing that should strike. And now you would be telling how this would strike. This didn't strike in my head. Now it comes with the help of practice. Okay, int ki jagah long. Okay, no problem. Okay, we would be moving forward. Now this should be the modulo thing. Okay, now we would take A, B and C modulo. Okay, A modulo 4, B modulo 4 and C modulo 4. But this is not very trivial. Okay, this is absolutely non-trivial. Okay, now I would show you how this is trivial. Okay, now we know that the remainder is important. Remainder is important. So let's see what would be our remainder. Remainder would be 0, 1, 2 and 3. If k is 4, suppose k is fixed at 4, so what would be the remainder? 0, 1, 2 and 3. Am I clear? Okay, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Am I clear? Just tell me. The remainder 0, 1, 2 and 3 is trivial. Okay, this one, the remainder. Suppose k is 4. Till now, we would be seeing the sample test case. When we see a question, we would be seeing the sample test case. When we see the sample test case, we first try to solve the sample test case. Okay, that is our first agenda. And now sample test case, अगर sample test case में 4 दिया हुआ है तो हम मान ही लेते हैं आंसर 4 है. बस इतना समझ लो. Okay, now अगर आंसर 4 है तो we would be moving forward to 0, 1, 2 and 3 would be the only remainder because more than 3 would be not there. So now what would be the value? It might be the case that the first thing is 4. Okay, 4x plus 0. Okay, let me write all this in a new page. Okay, so what can be the values? 4x plus 0, 4x plus 1, 4x plus 2 and 4x plus 3. Am I clear? This might be the values. The repetition might be there, but this would be the values, different values. Okay, this would be the different values itself. Okay, now moving forward, there might be repetition. Suppose that this number would be more than one time, this number would be more than one time. There might be repetition, or some number won't exist. We aren't saying in that condition, so this might be the condition. Okay, moving forward, if you see this, when are two pairs like this only. Okay, now we would see to it that when two numbers are pairs. Okay, now we would see when two numbers are pairs. Now we would consider, suppose the answer is 7 and 11. We know that these two are pairs. Okay, now we need to simplify this. How would we simplify? 4 into 1 plus 3. Okay, and 4 into 2. Okay, not in, this would be into 4 multiplied by 2 plus 3. Idea came? Idea came? कुछ नहीं करना था. It was a simple question. You should have considered 2 pairs and you should have got the solution. Idea समझ में आया? The solution is not important. Coming to that solution and taking other question and coming to that solution is important. Learning the problem solving ability is important, because that this question, the repetition of this question, the probability of getting this question repeated is very small. Okay, you need to take the idea that how I would solve the question if this type of question comes. Okay, am I clear till this point or not, or should I clear something more? Okay, now we are seeing that when the remainder is same, then that two are pairs. When the remainder is same, then they two are pairs. And how many remainders are there? 0, 1, 2 and 3. Good to go. Okay, now we know that there are k pairs. We know that there are k pairs. How k pairs? 0 to k minus 1, 0 to k minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Only this. No, please explain again. I got confused once again, sir. 0 को भी divisible माना जाएगा कि नहीं? Okay, the thing is that 0 is divisible by all the numbers. Okay, this is a fact. First, I would be explaining this question again. 0 is divisible by all numbers. 0 is divisible by all numbers. First thing, we know first thing that 0 is divisible by all numbers. Moving forward, we will see the sample test case. Suppose sample test case में दिया हुआ है कि 3, 7, 11 and k is equals to 4. Okay, 3, 7, 11 and k is equals to 4. ये तो मैंने नहीं लाया. This is already given in the sample test case. Okay, moving forward, we completely know that 7 and 11 are pairs. We know. हमें दिमाग में पता है 7 and 11 पेयर है, हमें बस पता नहीं है कि इसे सॉल्व कैसे करना है. Moving forward, okay? Okay. Now let's try to simplify this. What is common in both the things? Okay, what is common in both the things? If you write this on a pen and paper, you would see that the thing that is common in both the things are that both the thing modulo 4 is 3. 7 modulo 4 and 11 modulo 4 both results to 3 itself. Am I clear till this point or not? Is it now anyone more who is confused, or I get a +1 in the chat? If I get a +1 in the chat, I would start implementing this. If I don't get a +1 in the chat, I would again tell you the correct solution. Tell me, am I clear till this point or not? Just see the sample test case and you would come to the solution. Okay, I got a +1. Kudos to me also. Okay, moving forward. Suppose there are 3 numbers. Suppose there are 3 numbers A, B and C. Suppose there are 3 numbers and all are pairs. Okay, everything modulo this is pair. Okay, we know that these 3 are the candidates of pair. Okay, अब we need to select only 2. Select only 2. Select only 2. That is A, B, A, C, B, C. Okay. Now tell me, how can we select 2 out of n things? 2 out of n things. 2 out of n things. Tell me. I want the answer in the chat itself. I won't be revealing the answer. How can we calculate how many pairs exist of 2 in the place of n itself? How many? Tell me. Yeah, absolutely correct. Okay, moving forward, absolutely correct. if we have n candidates, if we have n candidates and we need to choose 2, then n choose 2 simply. N choose 2, simple, good to go. We would be moving forward. Okay. Now the next thing is that what is the combination formula? The combination formula is n factorial divided by r factorial and n minus r factorial. Good to go. Then we would be simplifying this combination factorial. Okay. Now suppose we want to say 5c2. Am I clear? 5c2. Suppose there are 5 candidates and we need to choose 2. So 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Good to go. And then 2. And then n minus r. That is 5 minus 3. 5 minus 2 is equals to 3. And 3 factorial is 2 into 3. Okay. Now we would be removing 2, 3, 3. Okay. Now the answer gets to the value that n is equals to 5 and c is equals to 2. So n minus 1 into n divided by 2 will be the value. NC2 का formula नहीं निकालना होगा. We don't need to calculate the factorial. This is a simplified version which we can use in our program. Is this derivation correct? Am I clear? We don't need to calculate the factorial. It won't affect our answer. But suppose the interviewer tells you to improve upon your answer, then how would you improve? You would improve by saying that 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 divided by 2 factorial, then n minus r, that would be 2 into 2 and n minus 2. Okay. If you perform this on a pen and paper, then we would good. Now we are good to go. We would implement this. Can I have a quick +1 in the chat? +1 की बारिश करो भाई लोग. I need a quick +1 rain. Raining of +1. Okay. Now how would we do? How to implement? I would give you the idea and show you the solution for a short period of time. Okay. We would be taking out the numbers which have a modulo. Okay. Modulo, suppose this is 4. What could be the modulo? 0, 1, 2 and 3. So we would be making a array. We would be making an array of size k minus 1. Sorry, of size k. Okay, of size k, because this is 4 and this is 4, and we are able to keep up with this. Now many people in the chat, I saw that they were using map itself. I saw that they were using map. Okay. Now let's see the value of k. The k's value is from 10 to the power 5. Okay. And size of 10 to the power 5 array. When we can make a array of 10 to the power 5 and it would not give you a memory limit exceeded error. And using map would give us a time complexity of log n. And if we use an array, it would give us a constant time complexity. So which one is better? Using a map or using an array? So using a array would be better because it is more efficient. So we won't be using the map. We would be using the array itself. So what would we do? We would store the hash values in a map. Hash values in a map. Hash the modulo in array. Not array, we would be hash in the map. Array itself. Array itself. This is the first thing we would do. Now, number of values, choose 2. Choose 2. Okay, this is the main idea. This is the main idea. Hash the percentile values in the array, number of values divided by C2. Okay, now I would be showing you how to implement this. Okay. Again. Okay. Now we would see. Okay, n is equals to 3. I took the 3, then this one, this one, this one. Okay. N is equals to 3, array value is 3 and k is equals to 4. Good to go. Now how would we implement this? We have taken the safe side k plus 1. Memset, we have used memset to make all the values 0 and then a percentile k. Okay. First we boiled down our number to percentile k and then we hashed the values in the frequency table. And we have incremented the value. Then what we did? N into n minus 1 divided by 2. How n into n minus divided by 2? I would be showing you by this. Okay, I think it was written. Yeah. N into n minus 1 divided by 2. How this is getting derived? Okay, I sorry to say Dhruv, but I am not well acquainted with Java. I am telling in case of C++. Okay, I am telling in case of C++ because I don't actually know about all the things about Java. I only know the basic Java things. Okay, I can read and somewhat write basic programs in Java, but I can't. But I don't know the absolute minute things about Java. Sorry to say, and I won't be passing wrong informations to you all. Okay, n into n plus 1 divided by 2, and we are adding that to the answer, then we are returning the answer. Okay, we have finished the first question. Am I clear? Can I have a quick +1 so that we would move to the next question? We would move to the next question. If this question is clear, take a screenshot of this implementation, but I suggest I won't be providing the distance. Okay, Rishabh Misra +1 from Rishabh Misra. Everyone else understood? Then after the confirmation from your side, I would be moving on to the next question. No, Amit Maurya, you are wrong. In the worst case, unordered map has a time complexity of big O of n square. Amit, okay. Many a times I got my solution was hacked because earlier I used to do unordered map, and the worst case of unordered maps has a time complexity of big O of n square. And if you search busting unordered maps by Neil and write code forces, you would know the main reason. Okay. If you have any doubts, please ask. I'm open for doubts, and we would start from 8:35 the next question. We would wait for 1 minute for the next period of doubts, and we would start at 1:48. Move to the next, please. Okay. Anyone else who wants me to move to the next question, or if they have any doubts? Unordered map in C, searching, inserting in GFG course. Yeah. Unordered map in C++ has big O of n square, searching, sorting in GFG course. Yeah, you are true. But in the worst case, I am talking about the worst case. Okay, I would show you. Wait, just a case. Blowing up unordered map code forces. Wait a second. Okay, this is, I told that this is the okay. Okay, now this is a blog by Neil, and it has a vote. He is a red coder, and it has a vote of 752. Please read this. Please read this blog. Okay. Okay. But sometimes they are big O of n square. Okay. This is the how they are hackable. These are things. Okay. Please read this so that everyone would have a better understanding. Resources to study combinatorics. There is a book which I followed. Okay, do one thing. Ask me on the LinkedIn, and I would provide you the PDF of that book. It is an open source book. Text me on LinkedIn. I would tell you. Okay, please explain the code once more. No, I can explain you the idea, but don't want to explain the code again, because that would just boil down to learning that code, mugging up that code rather than learning the solution. So I can tell the solution, the main idea once more, but I won't be telling you the main code once more. Okay? Do you want me to still read the code or still read the idea? What do you want? If you want, I can tell you. If you still want, I can tell you. ओके भैया बिग टेक कंपनीज के लिए सीपी का नॉलेज होना चाहिए. माई लिंक्डइन आईडी इज सिद्धार्थ हाजरा. माई लिंक्डइन आईडी इज सिद्धार्थ हाजरा. That is already given in the contest. Just click on that and it would be getting to do. Okay, I thought case insert and when all the hashes collide. Actually, I too didn't know. Why I should brag about it? I too didn't know. I just मेरा अपना नाम बता दो. My name is Siddharth Hazra. My name is Siddharth Hazra. Okay. Anything more? Only 1 minute remains. Only 1 minute remains. After 1 minute, we would be moving on to the next question. Only 1 minute remains. Only 1 minute remains. We would be moving forward. My name is Siddhartha Hazra. Read the idea. Okay, sure. I would read the idea in 1 minute. Okay, what we are doing is, I would tell you. Okay. Okay. What we are doing is, suppose we know that 8 and move on to the next question. Okay, do one thing, read the question, read the value again, and you would get to know. Okay, number formation. क्या क्या लगाया? We are going to start off with the in next 1 minute. Okay, so tell me, what approaches did you use to solve this question? The approaches I used was hilarious, I must tell you. Read the idea. Suppose this is 8. Suppose this is 8 and this is 12. Okay? No, not 12. Suppose this is 7 and this is 12. I would be telling that. Suppose this is 7 and this is 12. We know that these two are pairs. Okay? Now when two numbers are pairs, we would see, and k is equals to 4. What do you see? That 7 percentile 4 and 11 percentile 4 both equals to 3. And we see that when the percentile value is same, that means they two are pairs. Now we have used the combination value by using the hash function. Okay. Okay. इसमें भी combinatrix लेकिन solve नहीं हुआ. Okay. One used DFS, one used combinatrix. I used bipartite. I used BFS and all. I used everything, I must say. Okay. Tell me. One used combinatrix, one used DFS. What are the other things that you all used? I used 3 ideas, I must say. Okay, tell me. Subsequence and combination of x, y, z. Yeah, true. Moving forward, how many all? Okay, now we would be 1 minute has passed. Now we would be first reading the question and then we would be moving ahead. Okay, we are given 3 integers x, y, and z, and we need to find the sum of all the numbers formed by having the digits. Okay, DFS, good to go. Okay, so what I basically did was, okay, so many people have already used and many people have already tried. Okay, so what you can do is, how did you think of bipartite? That's a long story, I must say. Okay, actually that was a vague idea. That is completely wrong. I am telling you how that is wrong. And that was I am telling just what the mistakes I made. Okay, so moving forward. Okay, moving forward, what we can do is, what I generally do to solve this type of question, is that I make a checklist. Okay, I make a checklist of what I know. Okay, because I know that in the span of 2 hours, I can't read a whole new topic, and then I can implement this. I know that. So what I know, I focus on what I know, and then I prepare a checklist. I have a checklist, what I know. Okay, I have a checklist. So what I do is, I check when I don't get any idea. Suppose I have no idea to solve a particular question. Suppose I have no idea. Okay, so I have prepared a checklist. Let me show you. Wait a sec. I could show you. Yeah, yeah. Is this visible? Yeah. These are the company names. This is the checklist itself. Okay. So what I generally do is, I am showing, because the solution is important. I must say the solution is important, but knowing how to tackle this type of question is more important. What I believe. Okay. So what I did was, I focus on what I know. Okay. I focus on what I know, and I prepare a checklist. Yeah, I have just shared my checklist. Take a screenshot of that. Do you want me to show it again? Then I can show you again. Do you want me to show you again? Then I can show you. I have written it on a pen paper and I refer it. Okay, when you have no idea how to solve a question, picture of your checklist. Okay, good to go. Okay, take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot. Okay, then do one thing. Ask me on the LinkedIn. I would be providing you. Text me on LinkedIn. I would be providing you. You would also get an idea what topics to know. Okay. So moving forward. Okay. Suppose you don't have any idea to solve a question. Page ulta aata hai sir. Okay. It is not visible. Page ulta aata hai sir. Okay. I think it should be visible by now. Okay, let's leave. We should focus. Okay, to solve a question of this type, you should try to think of the things you know. Okay, my LinkedIn ID is Siddhartha Hazra. You know, focus on what you know. Okay, so what I know was, first thing what I tried was, greedy. At first I tried greedy. I knew after 1 or 2 minutes, I knew that greedy won't work. Next thing, I moved on to solving that question by graph. I tried all the things that could fit in this question. Couldn't came up with a solution. Moved forward. So greedy didn't pass, graph didn't pass. And the last thing that could strike me was DP. And the last thing that struck me was DP. I knew that DP couldn't handle, I knew that greedy couldn't handle this, I knew that graph couldn't handle this, but I knew that DP could handle this. जिसका पार कैसे ही नहीं लगता, उसका पार DP से लग जाता. So, moving forward. Okay. What we can do is, suppose X value is 1. कोड लिखो सीधा लाने के लिए. What कोड लिखो सीधा लाने के लिए? I didn't understand. Okay, leave. Moving forward. Suppose X value is 2 and 5 value is 1. Sorry, X value is 2 and Y's value is 1. Let me remove this. Suppose X is 2 and Y is 1 itself. Good to go. And let's see the sample test cases for now. 1, 1, 1. What are the numbers? 4, 5, 6, 45, 54. And we all sum up all this and we would get 3675. Good to go. So we would be discussing the idea now. What we told, what I told, that x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 1. Okay, x is equals to 2, y is equals to 1. Moving forward, what could be the values itself? Okay, so जब भी DP से solve करना हो ना, there are two process. There are two things, greedy and graph. दिमाग में ही नहीं आया. Sir, firstly explain the question. Okay, yeah, good to go. So the first thing, whenever you need to solve a question in DP, okay, then you should tell two questions. Okay, first try to solve. What I basically do is, first I try to solve using the normal memoization approach. Because recursive सोचना easy रहता है. पहले मैं सोचता हूँ recursive because recursive सोचना easy है. So what I basically try to do is base case and then how to merge, how to get the answer, how to get answer from pre-calculated answer. Okay, जब भी DP से question solve करना हो, there are two parts, base and how to get an answer from the pre-calculated answer. So base तो we know, base condition would be when the value is 0, 0, 0. Okay, when the value there, when the x is 0, y is 0 and z is 0. So we know that sum is 0. Okay, but how many number of these things allow? How many are there with x0, y0 and 0? There are no numbers. Okay, no numbers, just one, that is sum would, so sum would be 0 and the number would be 1 itself. Okay, because only one exists. Moving forward, okay, moving forward, we would try to solve the question by taking the previous. But before taking the previous, what are the things that we require is taken as the states, then calculate the states of the DP. Okay, then see the question. See the question. Just a sec, let me move on to the, yeah. So second question क्या था? Let's move to the second question. Number formation. Okay. So x, y, z is equals to 60. X, y, z equals to 60. And the expected time complexity is given x into y into z. यही पॉइंट पे पता था कि the DP states would be x, y and z. Okay, we knew after seeing the expected, in the expected it was given x into y into z, and at this point I knew that x, y and z would be my state. This would be my parameter. Am I clear till this point or not? Just tell me if I am clear till this point. Let me know if I am clear till this point. DP कैसे सोचना है, कैसे करना है, कैसे states लाना है, कैसे क्या लाना है. Am I clear till this point or not? Just tell me, then we would be moving forward. Can I have a quick +1 in the chat that I should move forward? Okay. I got a yes from Vivek Raj. Anyone else who tells me that it is yes? So our DP state would be sum of numbers with. Okay. Now tell me, sir, but in the question, no platform gives time complexity. Okay. Okay. No platform gives time complexity, but here it is given. Now I would tell you how can you tell this. Okay, after, suppose we know that after this point our question can be solved in DP. That is known. That is known. Suppose we don't have this. Suppose we don't have this. Now I would be, okay. Suppose inspect. अब ठीक है. Now we don't have the expected time complexity and auxiliary space. How you decided the state of XYZ? I'm telling. Yeah. That is important. That's why I removed. Suppose this was not given. Suppose this is blank. Suppose this is blank itself. Suppose this is blank. Now we would be moving forward to XYZ less than equals to 60. This would be given, na? The constraint would be given. We know that this could be solved using DP. Now we would tell the expected time complexity. This is an interview, so expected time complexity is given. Okay, suppose we know that this is not given. So at first what we see is how to solve a particular question. What is the least value? Okay, what is the least value? So we would be moving forward. We can see that x, y and z equals to 60. So 60 into 60 into 60 is feasible. Infeasible in 1 second. Okay. Now the next thing we would try to do is, suppose we have the numbers from x, y and z. Suppose we calculate till x, y and z equals to 3. Okay. We can't only use x. If we only use x, then the y would be variable. So we need to fix the y. If x and y are fixed, the z would be variable. So z is also fixed at this point. So moving forward, we know that x, y and z all are important. Now we would be seeing the constraint itself, and we know that 60 into 60 into 60 is feasible enough in 1 second. So we would be moving forward. If we move forward, we saw there was the first thing that I made the mistake. The first thing that made the mistake was sum till x, y and z. Suppose sum till x is equals to 2, y is equals to 1 and z is equals to 0. Okay, but then I knew, suppose I calculated sum till xyz. Okay, sum till xyz, the first thing that I did. Okay, then at the next point I knew that हम pre-calculated things को use नहीं कर सकते. We can't use the pre-calculated things. Okay, we can't use the pre-calculated things. How do you know that 60 into 60 is feasible enough? Okay, in 1 second, online compilers are expected to perform 10 to the power 8 operations. Okay, so if you multiply 16 into 60 into 60, that is feasible in 1 second. Okay. Now moving forward, I think it is already replied. Okay, move for. Let us move forward to the question. Now the first thing that I did was sum till x, y and z. Sum till x, y and z. Then I knew that I can't use in this problem sum till x, y and z. We can't use pre-calculated value. Pre-calculated value. We can't use pre-calculated value. Okay. Now we knew that pre-calculated value could not be answered. Now moving forward, suppose x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1. Okay. Then how many numbers would be there? Okay. So we can't tell the sum till this point. So what I did was I made it specific. By specific, what do we mean? That DP state would be sum of numbers with exactly x4, y5 and z6. I tried to be specific. Okay, then I moved forward. Okay, then I moved forward and I saw that suppose x is equals to 1, y is equals to 1. Then there are two values 45 and 54, and the sum would be 9 and 5 fours are 5 plus 4 9 99. Okay, am I clear? Now I made the sum x is equals to 2. I made x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 1 itself. Okay, now I know that 5 4 4 4 5 4 4 4 5. We know that this is the thing that exists, this is the thing that exists. Okay, what I did was this is my problem, and this I calculated the previous problem so that I would devise a way where I could solve the previous problem. मैंने क्या किया, मैंने मन में एक प्रॉब्लम लिया. सपोज x इज इक्वल्स टू 2, y इज इक्वल्स टू 1. देन हम पिछला आंसर से इस आंसर में कैसे जा सकते हैं, वी वुड सी टू इट. ओके, वी वुड सी टू इट. Now saying this, now we would start comparing this. Okay, and what would be the value of this? 8 plus 5 is equals to 13, and 5 plus 5 is equals to 10, and then 14, and then 5 plus 5 18, and then 14. 1 4 4 3. Okay, 1 4 4 3. The answer, now we should devise a way to get the answer 1443, and we have already calculated the answer, this one. Okay, now we can see that when x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1, the numbers were 45 and 54. Good to go. Now if x is increased by 1 and y is equals to 1, the first thing that we would do is we would append 4 at this point. We were appending 4 at this point, and the next thing we are doing is we are then having a value known as 544. 544, this is given. Okay, now we know that we have calculated all the previous things. This is our problem, and if we are at this position, all the previous values are already calculated. Okay, now I got the idea that this would be, what is this, 45 into 10 plus 4 would give me this value, and 54 into 10 plus 4 would give me this value. Am I clear till this point or not? Because this is important. Just tell me if I am clear till this point or not. Constant sometime take big O of n and sum gives TLE, which is tight but bound for this constant. Operations के ऊपर depend करता है. Only addition is involved. Then 119 भी चलेगा. के ऊपर भी depend करता है. Okay, percentage are costly. I got the idea I was missing when I was thinking of TP. Okay, am I clear till this point or not? Just tell me if I'm clear till this point or not. One, Rishabh wants a repeat telecast of this thing. Anyone else who wants a repeat telecast, or am I clear till this point or not? Can I have a quick +1 in the chat that this is clear or not? Then we would be moving forward. Rishabh, please don't spam. I knew that. Sir, what exactly are you trying to do? What I am exactly trying to do is, I am trying to relate I am trying to get an answer from previously calculated answer. I am trying this. कुछ समझ में आ जाए. Okay, I'm trying to get an answer from the previously calculated answer. Okay, I would repeat it again. Okay, suppose our problem is x is equals to 2, y is equals to 1, and z is equals to 0. Okay, and we consider that we have already calculated the previous values. Okay, now we know that the previous values is calculated, and we know that keeping the sum till this point is not enough. We need to be specific. So the state is equals to sum of number with exactly 4x, 5y and 6z. Okay, we know the state, and we are trying to calculate the current value with the previous value. Previous values are already calculated, and we are trying to calculate the present values. Okay, but you are framing expression here. Yeah, I am trying to frame expression. I'm trying to frame a way where I would know how to solve from the previous way. Okay, we know that the base case of 0, 0, 0 is 1, number of 1. So that is already know, because there is only one way, and that is absolutely correct. Now we already know that when x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 1 and z is equals to 0, we would be moving forward. It's up. Okay, now we would be moving forward, and we know that the sum would be 1, 4, 4, 3. How? 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4 and 5, 4, 4. So the sum is 1, 4, 4, 3 itself. Moving forward. Okay, we know that this should be our value. Okay, we can carry on. Okay, all right, sir, we can carry on. Okay, good to go. We know that this is our value, and we already have the calculated previous values. Okay, now we would try to calculate this value with the help of the previous value. Okay, now we would try to calculate this value with the help of previous value, and I am trying to frame a way where I would be able to do that. Okay, okay, we are trying to move away. Okay, moving forward, when x is equals to 2, and we know that this should be the value, and suppose we have already calculated the value x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1. We have already considered that the previous values are already known. So the previous values are 4, 5 and 5, 4, and the sum is 99, and the previous two values are already known. We are trying to know this with the help of this. Moving forward, many people didn't understand previously. So if we see closely and we try some more test cases, we would see that at first, suppose two are already there. So what we would do? Previous combination plus the now combination. Many people told in the previous chat now we were using combinations. How were we using combination? That values would be appended to the new value. Suppose x is equals to 2 and the previous x is equals to 2 and the previous value is 1. So 4. We know that 4. Now 4 would be appended with a 4 and 1 would be made with 2. So we know that when x is equals to 4, we would be appending this with 4 itself. One more 4 would be there. So we have got the two values. That is 4, 5, 4 and 5, 4, 4 itself. We have got the two values, and we are now concerned about the third value. That is 5, which is not there. 445. 445 is not there. We are now considered about this. Now, suppose we have decremented the value of x. Now, suppose x is equals to 2 and y is made 0. X is equals to 2 and y is made 0. So now the values would be 4, 4. Now the values would be 4, 4. And we know that we have already calculated the previous values. We have already calculated the previous values and then we are coming to this conclusion. Okay, previous values are already calculated. We are considering this. That's how you should try to solve the DP. And now when y would be incremented from 0 to 1, we would be appending 1 5 to itself, and we know that we have got our answer. Okay, 4, 4 and 5. So what we know that the previous values into 10 plus x or y plus z. That is the thing, na? We are multiplying 4, 4 was there and we now come with 5. So we know that 4 into 10 plus 5 would give us 445. We are trying to form on to this explanation. Okay, now the first thing is the memoization approach. The first thing that we should try to do is the memo approach. Memo approach is nothing. We write a recursive thing. We write a recursive value. We write a recursive value. Then we write it, memo it. Okay, memoize it. Okay. Now, in the process of recursive and memoization, we knew that we need to keep account of two things. We need to keep account of two things: number of numbers, and the sum. Two things. This is the first part, this is the second part. Okay. Now, in the process of memoization, if you do this, first we would be solving the number part. Okay, number of numbers with exactly k plus 1 and x plus 1. So what would be the value? Recurrence of x, y and z. Okay, and we know the number with 0, 0 and 0 is 1 itself. So we would be writing if s equal x comma y comma z all are equal to 0, return 1 itself. Now second one, how we would be calculating the previous values. Okay, suppose x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 0 and z is equals to 0. We have already calculated the values of x is equals to 1, y is equals to 0 and z is equals to 0, and the value is 1 itself, and the value is 1 itself because only 1 exists, that is 4. With 4 only 1 exists, and we know that x is equals to 2. So what would be our value? 4 and 4. So we know that the value of recurrence of x answer is equals to recurrence of, okay, I would be, so if answer is greater than 0, then we would be having an answer variable which would be initialized with 0. Recurrence of x minus 1 comma y comma 0, and sorry, x is greater than 0, and then if y is greater than 0, we would be doing the same thing, recurrence of x comma y minus 1 comma 0, and the same thing if z is greater than 0, then recurrence of x comma y comma z minus 1. Good to go. Now we would be moving forward. Now, am I clear with this approach, how to calculate the numbers with exactly x4, y5 and z6? Am I clear? Am I clear till this point or not? because understanding the recursive solution is more important, and it would give you a brief idea and you would get a better understanding of that. So am I clear till this point or not? Just tell me if I'm clear till this point. Okay, let me read. वाला कैसा है रिपीट कीजिएगा. Move to the code. I think can anyone how we return 0. Okay, one people asked. Okay, so tell me, if x is equals to 0, y is equals to 0 and z is equals to 0. So how many numbers are there which exist with 0, 0, 0 values? I would be telling you. Why anyone would explain? I ask me, if x is equals to 0, y is equals to 0 and z is equals to 0. Tell me how many number could be found by using exactly 0, y, 0, 4, 0, 0, z and 0, y. That is nothing. That is 1. Only one number could be found. And that is very absolutely very trivial. How many numbers could be found without using any 4, without using any 5 and without using any 6? Only 1. Okay. We have got 2 plus. So we have done. Now we would focus on getting the sum. Sum with exactly using x4, y5 and z6. Okay. You are storing this answer every time the number of numbers are found. But okay. But the thing is that, tell me, if I wrote the recursive code, then won't you able to memorize this with a 3D array? Won't you able to memorize this? This would be a 2-line code. Tell me, then I would write it. Number of x, y and z. Memorize this. Then if we would be adding just a thing that if num of x, y and z is not equal to -1, then we would be returning it, else we would be storing it. Is this not very... I expect that you are able to do this, that you are able to memorize this solution. If I give you a recursive solution, you should be able to memorize it. That's why I told you a recursive solution. Just we would be writing 2 lines of code. We would be initializing it with a dp of x, y and z. Then what we would be doing is, we would be writing that if dp of x, y, z is not equal to -1, then return dp of x, y, z. Else what we would be doing is, the answer variable would be stored in answer, then the value at the end. If this is not the case, then the flow would be demolishing to this, and then dp of x, y, z is equals to the answer variable. Will you not able to do this? Am I clear till this point or not? How can you memorize a recursive solution to a memorized solution? I love the recursive approach. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. Moving forward. Now we are able to. Okay. I would be removing this. This is how you can memorize a recursive approach. I am telling you in the case of recursive approach. Why I am trying to tell you in a recursive approach? Because when I was in the initial days of my learning DP, I always tried to search a solution which had a recursive approach. Okay. Now moving forward. Okay. Now I would be naming it sum, then x and then y and z. Okay. If x is equals to 0, if y is equals to 0 and z is equals to 0, then we would be returning 0. This is absolutely trivial. This is absolutely trivial. Now we would be writing the other things. Okay. Now suppose the thing is already calculated. We have devised a way in the previous slide. We have devised a way in the previous slide. Let me go to that slide and we would get to know where the thing is gone. Okay, leave. I will write a new one. Okay. The thing is that we have already calculated the previous values. So what we can do is, suppose x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 1, would be taking the same example. Now moving forward, the thing would be, we have already calculated the values of x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1, and we have already calculated the values of x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 0 itself. These two are calculated. Suppose these two are calculated and we need to calculate this with the help of these two. Okay. Now we would see that the sum of this and this, what is this? 45 and 54 is 99. Good to go. Then x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 4. So only one thing remains, that is 44. Good to go. Then we know that x is equals to 2 and y is equals to 1. Then 454 and then 544 and then 445. What we are doing? We are taking the previous values, multiplying with 10 and adding the value. Previous values, multiplying with 10 and adding the values. And the next thing we are doing is, we are taking the previous values, multiplying it with y, that is 5, multiplying it with 10 and then adding the y. Am I clear? May I write the formula itself? So what would be our value itself? It would be the same thing. As we had implemented this. So as we have implemented this thing, so we can see that this is already done. I gave you the idea. Now this is a homework to implement this. So we saw that we need to write two we need to do a two recursive calls and then memorize it. Okay. We need to write two recursive calls and then we need to memorize it. Okay. Now we know that we need to write two recursive calls and we would be memorizing it. Okay. Is the memorization approach clear to you? Can I have a quick +1 in the chat? That is the memorization approach or the recursive and then write memorizing it. Is it clear? Then I would be moving forward with implementing this. Am I clear till this point or not? Tell me that am I clear till this point or not? Can I have a quick +1 in the chat? Many people are saying that now I get it. It means that I am able to make them understand. Momo it. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else who understood? I still didn't get any reply. Okay, 2 people understood. Over 47 people are watching and only 3 people understood. I am quite amazed. Tell me how many of you people implementing this. Okay, now we know that we need to write two recursive calls, then we need to memorize it. Okay. Now you have heard the thing that sometimes implementing iterative sometimes write implementing iterative DP is easy. Ever heard this phrase? Ever heard this phrase from many people that sometimes implementing a recursive iterative DP is easy than recursive? Ever heard this thing? Ever heard this line? I came across this line from many experienced coders. I came across this line from many experienced coders. Ever heard this line? That sometimes implementing iterative DP is easy than the memoization part. Ever heard this phrase? I think you have heard this. If you are not new to world of programming, you should have heard this. Okay. Now, implementing two recursive calls and then memoizing the two things, we can take two 3D arrays and then implement iterative DP. Which is easier? Making two recursive calls and memoizing them individually, or taking two 3D arrays and then implementing iterative DP? Which is easy in this case? Because in the coding interview, in the coding round, the main thing that you would be coming across is saving your time. Time saving is the most important factor, because if you have seen that type of problem, but for new problem, recursion is easy. Heard, but that is not true with me. Yeah, absolutely, that is not true. What if it is not true for you, then what you can do is you can implement two recursive calls and then you can memoize it. But if you are a little bit intermediate in the world of DP, then what you can do is you can take two 3D DPs and then implement iterative DP, and the condition would be same. Base condition and everything would be same. Okay. Now we would move to the implementation, because the base condition and the normal condition, that the sub problem part, is already known to you. This thing is already known to you. So now we would get to implementing the iterative DP, because implementing recursive DP in the case of this is like implementing two solutions. So iterative DP is providing a much better way. Okay. So let me remove all this. Yeah. Okay. At first, the answer in the question itself, it is given that the answer could be very large. So take the modulo 10 to the power 9 plus 7. Okay. Answer would be at first initialized with the value 0. Now we are taking two 3D arrays. Now Kanishk is telling that एक array से भी हो जाएगा. Yeah, it might be the case that one 3D array could solve our issue, but in my case I implemented using two arrays because it was easy to implement, and handling individual arrays was enough for me. Okay, good to go. It might be the case, but I am not aware of that case. Okay, now we already discussed about this, that number 000 using 0, 4, 0, 5 and 0, 6 is 1. Now we would be writing this thing. Okay, now we are coming to the main logic part. At first, what we are doing is we have implemented the 0, 0 and 0, and we are running a loop itself. Okay, just the normal matrix, how you iterate on a matrix, this is the same thing. If I equals to 0, then what we are doing is sum minus 1 multiplied with 10 and then number into 4, and then the number of this would be same as the previous one. Okay, suppose this is 40, this is 45. Okay, let me not write this. Suppose this is 4. Using 4, this is only one value. Okay, now suppose the value of x is equals to 2 and the value of y is equals to 1, then the numbers would be this thing. So the values would be 4 and 4. There would be only one value, so we are taking the previous values. If j is greater than 1, we would be doing this, we would be understanding this, and the rest of the two conditions are same. Okay, so we would be trying to understand only the first part, and then the rest part would be same. Okay, now what we are trying to do is x is equals to 0, y is equals to 0, and then we are taking the previous values, adding it, we are doing it mod and multiply it with 10 and adding it, multiplying with 4 is already told, and then how are we taking the previous values is already told to you, and then we are again multiplying with 10, adding it with 5, previous values, 10 multiplied with 5, 6, and then the previous values. We are taking the mod. I have taken the mod, but that is not required, but I always like to play on the safe side so that I don't get a wrong answer uselessly, just like that. That is not required because the mod is already there. Okay, mod is already there, but is not his case, but I always like to be on the safe side. And then we are summing up our solution, taking the mod, printing it the answer. Am I clear till this point or not? The answer is explained, and this is the main logic part. I would be making it more minified, okay, so that you would have a better view. If you want a screenshot of this, then you can take it. Two things in one question, number of ways and sum of combination. Yeah, गोल्डमैन सैक्स है भाई, आपसे बहुत बेटर एक्सपेक्ट करता है. Goldman Sachs, yeah, Goldman Sachs is a big tech. Okay, am I clear till this point or not? If I'm clear, if you have any doubts, ask me. If you have any doubts, ask me. If you don't have any doubts, then I would be terminating this session. What is the purpose of mod? Yeah, what is the purpose of mod? So the thing is that the answer could be very large. The answer could be very large. Okay, the answer could be very large. It can be so large that no data type could handle this. It can be so large that the no data type could handle this. So what is the thing is that we want to keep the answer inside a certain range. Okay, we want to keep our answer inside a certain range. To keep our answer inside a certain range, we are always taking it the remainder of 10 to the power 9 plus 7, that is a prime number. Okay, and then we are telling so that the answer would always fit inside 10 to the power 9 plus 7. Inside 10 to the power 9 plus 7, I would be showing you, suppose the answer is 10e9 plus 8. Okay, so if we do modulo 10 to the power 10e1 1e9 plus 7, then the answer would be 1 itself. Okay, that's how this won't be beyond 10 to the power 9 plus 7. SS में नहीं आ रहा है पूरा. Okay, if SS में नहीं आ रहा, I would be, if you want, how many of you want the solution to be there on the comment section? How many of you want? How to implement it recursively? I have shown the code. I have shown you the code and I've done the memorization and all. पूरा रामायण खत्म हो गया और भाई साहब पूछ रहे सीता कौन है. Okay, yeah, this is the recursive code. This is the recursive code, and this just after that I memorized it, and then I told that what is the reason of implementing iterative DP rather than doing the recursive and then memorizing it. I told. Is there any computation? As there is a computation of two things simultaneously, how to implement it? Okay, can I have a quick +1 from all the people that are seeing, and then I would be telling goodbye to all of you, and then I would be turning off this session. How many of you? Can I have a quick +1 from everyone? For the last time, can I have a quick +1? Hell lot of questions. Can I have a quick +1 in the chat? I tried to आपका एटीट्यूड निकले एटीट्यूड तब ना. Yeah, aptitude is a big problem in Goldman Sachs. Aptitude is a big problem in Goldman Sachs, I must say. Okay. Did you like my explanation? Did you like my explanation? Quick yes. How was my explanation? Can I have a quick feedback? I would be taking only your 1 minute so that I would be knowing that how was my explanation. Sir, आप कोड डालने वाले थे ना comment section में? Yeah, I would be keeping the code in the comment section. I would be printing the code in the comment section. Okay, if you have a little bit time, if you can spare at least 15 seconds, then can you tell me how was my explanation? Did you understood my explanation or not? Just a 15 seconds more of your time and can you tell me कैसा लगा मेरा explanation? Just 10 सेकेंड और लूंगा, बस इतना बता दो कैसा लगा. पर्सनल है, कुछ प्रोफेशनल नहीं, बस पर्सनल वे में बताओ कि कैसा लगा मेरा एक्सप्लेनेशन. बस मुझे जानना है कि मेरा एक्सप्लेनेशन है कैसा. बस इतना बता दो प्लीज. एज अ ब्रदर ही बता दो कैसा लगा, क्या कौन सा वे में इम्प्रूव कर सकता हूँ. हाउ कैन आई इम्प्रूव? जस्ट लिटिल बिट टाइम. Sir, I would also get to improve na. If I have a wrong way of teaching and then I continue it, it won't be beneficial. That's why I want a little bit feedback from your side. That's why a request from my side. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else who has any feedback, positive or negative? Negative feedback are most welcome. Positive feedback are also welcome. Please, can I have a quick, at least a quick thing that I want in return as a Guru Dakshina hi maan lo. Just a feedback that how was my explanation. Newbie in DP but still got the idea. Okay, that was a good comparison. थोड़ा और structured होता तो और अच्छा होता. Okay, I would try to make it structured. Actually, the thing is that na, if I try to make it structured, then I can't go. Some people tell me that how can we implement this? How can we implement this? How can we sort this using this? So वो भी बताना पड़ता. That's why I can't pre-plan everything. That's why I try to do on the spot because that would be more customer centric. That's why I do. Because if I do recorded lectures, that would be the thing where I would be more structured. But the thing is that when I want to be customer centric, then I would need to blend according to the customer. That's why I don't plan much. I just come to the session and explain everything. It was really very helpful. Thanks for love the concept of Guru Dakshina. Acha laga. Okay, that's all. I take a leave. 9:30 itself. Go and have your dinner. Thank you and kudos to your efforts that you are trying to give. The contest. Keep giving the contest, and you would get to getting this answer. Okay, you would get a hang of it. Trust me. 8 months. 8 months. According to the 8 months. For 8 months, I was stuck in Codeforce's newbie, and I gave almost around 50 to 60 contests, and I was still stuck in newbie. So देते रहो contest, and you would improve. Eventually, you would improve. You would fall down, you would learn a new concept. You would fall down, learn a new concept. इतने concept बन जाओगे ना कि अब डर ही नहीं लगेगा. कितना गिरोगे भाई? गिर चुके ना और उठोगे. इसके बाद तो उठना ही है. Sir, one question: if a person wants to learn DP, what should be the correct approach? If a person wants to learn DP, then at first he should learn to master recursion. After he has mastered recursion, then you should know how to memorize a recursive solution. And you should try to solve every question using recursive, then memorize, recursive, then memorize, recursive, memorization. And then you should, after you get a very good hang of this, then go to the iterative DP. Okay, and then I must say that you would be a good candidate of DP. Your Codeforce's handle. I'm expert in Codeforces. Can't reveal here because I don't know if I am allowed to reveal my personal things or not. I don't know actually. Sorry. If I'm allowed, I would tell you. I don't know if I'm allowed or not. I'm not aware of this thing, if I'm allowed or not. I'm stuck at newbie. I was stuck for 8 months. I was stuck for 8 months in newbie. I gave around 50 to 60 contests. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm now expert. Don't worry. Okay. That's all for today. I won't be lingering this much. Thank you. Have a nice day. I take a leave. Thank you everyone for attending this session.